Mindset often shows up when you know what you need to do and you actually know the steps that you need to take to do it. However, you find yourself procrastinating, you find yourself giving reasons and excuses for why you keep delaying.
Welcome to the Elizabeth Yang Show, where we explore the benefits of diverse leaders expanding your brand authority online to create massive impact and happy sales. Now, let's dive in because your legendary life is waiting.
In this episode, let's talk about the other sets of success. This is part three, where we're talking about mindset, the third set of success. If you missed any of the prior sets of success, be sure to catch the prior episodes. So, how do we know that we are stuck on mindset? I'm laughing because so many of us often think, oh, if it's not a skill set, it must be mindset. And what many people will do is they'll start reading a mindset book or they'll start listening to podcasts to shift their mindset. And don't get me wrong, I think those are all great ways to start. But if you really want results to happen quickly for you, I'm going to be very candid and say that if you're feeling stuck on mindset, the fastest path to getting the results you want is to hire a coach. But unlike skill set, where you need to be thinking about feedback and accountability, with mindset, you really need to be focused on sorting through all the noise that's going on in your head to figure out and isolate what is that one trigger that's happening for you? Why is it happening for you? And this is often one of the hardest things when I'm working with clients on because mindset is literally like a blind spot. We all have blind spots. And so the fastest path to really your next breakthrough when you feel stuck on mindset is truly to hire a coach. It really is. I'm just keeping it real with you. So let's talk about the difference between the skill set and mindset and when you can start. How do you know? How do you know that you are feeling stuck and it has to do with your mindset? Here are some key questions I want you to ask yourself. The first one is, do you know what you need to do? Yes. Great. Do you know the steps that you need to take to do it? Yes. All right. Are you finding that even though you know what you need to do and you know the key steps that you need to take to do it, you're finding yourself saying, I don't know why I'm procrastinating? Or better yet, do you find yourself giving reasons for why you can't? I often say that if you find yourself giving the same reason more than three times, it's an excuse. And you need to do a real, honest, brutal self check. And that's how you know if it's really skill set or if it's really mindset. Oftentimes, when I'm working with clients, they already know what they need to do. They're just dragging their feet and they don't really know why that is. I had a client who had a very successful business. She does microblading and lashes, and she had not raised her prices ever since the doors to her business opened. And she knew she needed to raise her prices. The cost was going up. She knew what she had to. It's not like she didn't know how to raise prices. She knew what competitors in her niche were charging. And she also knew and was quite confident that her quality of service was way higher than others. And she knew that. And she wanted to charge more for that. She knew it. She knew it. But she had been dragging her feet and she could not figure out why. After 12 weeks of working together, she found it in her to finally raise her prices. In the beginning, before we worked together, she was just thinking for key pieces or key offers or key services. She ended up raising her price across the board for all of her services, and she made her highest sale month ever at $35,000 that month, simply by finally breaking through her mindset and raising her prices across the board. My favorite part was when she said to me, Elizabeth, I love that now that I've raised my prices, I have no more bargain shoppers. They either come in and they know I'm worth it or I'm not for them. So mindset often shows up when you know what you need to do and you actually know the steps that you need to take to do it. However, You find yourself procrastinating. You find yourself giving reasons and excuses for why you keep delaying. And usually, because of that, that often has to do with a trigger that's going on that we need to isolate and address. And this is so powerful because I'm going to give you another example for a client of mine. He was a mortgage broker. He had been in this business for years, years. And he asked me, Elizabeth, do you have any tips on just like more productivity and how I can better manage my time? So, what he was looking for was advice on a skill set. The longer we talked, the deeper we got, as I started to coach him, we were able to isolate what was really happening. He was procrastinating and delaying processing clients' applications for mortgages because every time he did that, he would get these sweaty, palmy hands, and he didn't quite know why he kept hesitating. The more that we sorted and sifted through the noise in his head, we found out, and this is okay for me to share this because he has shared this publicly. It's such a personal, intimate, but yet powerful story, but has shared it publicly. And so I'm sharing this with you. He realized that his sweaty palms came from when he first started his business. There is such a thing as business trauma where when he first started, he had this beloved uncle who believed in him and was one of his first clients that came on board when he started his business. And for whatever reason, the mortgage paperwork took way longer than it ever did. And unfortunately, his uncle passed away before he could finish the application process and get everything processed for his uncle. Ever since that moment, he felt that somehow he had failed his uncle. It was such a deep emotional wound for him. And that fear just started to show up in sweaty palms. And he has said to me, Elizabeth, once we found that, I no longer have sweaty palms. Within just 12 weeks, he hired 2 new team members from out of state. And he was like, Elizabeth, I see 100K a month like it's nothing. So, why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you because when I say to you that if you're feeling stuck on mindset, the fastest path to your next breakthrough truly is simply to hire a coach. So, that is the third set of success and what it takes if you're feeling stuck in your business to get to that next level of breakthrough for you.
If you are leaving this episode feeling inspired to uplevel online and make happy sales happen, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Now go out and take those steps to build your legendary life.